Most AI agents look impressive in demos. They open files, call tools, write summaries, and move fast enough to feel almost autonomous. In a short clip, it can look like the future already arrived. But a demo is not the same thing as useful work. A demo usually shows the best path: clean prompt, clean environment, clean success. Real work is messier. The agent has to understand the job, use tools without making a mess, recover when something breaks, stay inside the boundaries you gave it, and then do the same kind of work again tomorrow. So if you want to know whether an agent is actually usable, do not start with how impressive it looks. Start with 5 tests. Usable does not mean the agent sounded smart. It does not mean it wrote a lot. It does not mean it called a tool. Usable means the agent helped complete a real piece of work under real constraints. That definition matters because agents can create a lot of motion without creating a useful outcome. The work has to land somewhere. There has to be a finish line. There has to be evidence. There have to be boundaries. And if the agent cannot handle ordinary friction, it is not a worker yet. It is a demo. The 5 tests are simple on purpose: finish the job, use tools correctly, recover from failure, stay inside safe boundaries, and do it consistently. To make this concrete, imagine a real task. You give an agent a rough video idea and ask it to turn that idea into a usable pre-production package inside an existing content system. That sounds simple, but it touches almost everything that makes agents difficult. The agent has to read project rules, it has to understand what is already active, it has to create the right artifact in the right place, it has to update status records without disturbing another project, it has to preserve the user's exact hook. It has to stop before narration, visuals, music, or production handoff unless those gates are approved. That is not a toy prompt. That is a real workflow. The first test is the most basic, and it is the one people skip. Can the agent finish the job? Not can it start, not can it explain what it might do, not can it generate a long answer that sounds productive. Can it produce the actual deliverable you asked for? In the example, the finish line is not "talk about the video idea." The finish line is a usable pre-production package in the expected format, with the hook preserved, the section plan expanded, the next gate identified, and the status updated. A good agent has to understand the difference between activity and completion. The fake finish is where an agent says it is done, but the work is not actually usable. Maybe it created a vague summary instead of the package. Maybe it ignored the required format. Maybe it put the file in the wrong place. Maybe it changed the hook. Maybe it made the idea more generic than the user intended. Or maybe it did create something, but skipped the supporting records that make the system coherent. This is why the finish test needs evidence. What file changed? What artifact exists? What decision is still pending? What did the agent verify before calling the job done? If the agent cannot answer those questions, it did not finish. The second test is tool use, but the question is not whether the agent can call a tool. A lot of agents can do that. The question is whether it can use tools correctly. Did it search before guessing? Did it read the current file instead of relying on memory? Did it pass the right path, the right command, or the right input? Did it understand the result? Tool use only matters if the tool output changes the agent's next move. Otherwise, it is theater. In a real workflow, the agent has to treat tools as evidence, not decoration. Bad tool use can look very convincing. The agent reads a file, but it is the wrong file. It checks the project, but it checks a stale folder. It runs a command, sees an error, and keeps going as if it passed. It creates a link to an artifact that does not exist. Or it uses a powerful tool when simple inspection would have been safer. This is why the tool use test needs a trace. Not a scary audit system, just enough evidence to know what the agent looked at, what it learned, and why it chose the next step. A tool call without interpretation is not reliability. The third test is recovery. Real work breaks. A file path is wrong. A command fails. A generator cannot produce the object you wanted. A dependency is missing. The question is not whether the agent can avoid every failure. It cannot. The question is whether it notices the failure, understands what failed, and chooses a safe next step. Sometimes that means retrying. Sometimes it means simplifying. Sometimes it means switching tools. And sometimes it means stopping and saying, this part is blocked, here is why, and here is what would unblock it. That kind of honesty is not weakness. It is what makes the system usable. Pretend success is one of the most dangerous agent behaviors. The agent hits a problem but keeps the story moving anyway. It says the render passed when it did not. It says the source was validated when it was not. It says the file was created when it only planned the file. In a demo, that might be easy to miss. In production, it breaks trust fast. A reliable agent should be able to say, I tried this, it failed, this is the evidence, this part is still safe, and this is the next valid move. If an agent cannot stop honestly, you cannot trust it to continue. The fourth test is boundaries. Boundaries are not just about security, they are about trust. What files can the agent read? Where can it write? Which project does it own? Which gate can it prepare? And which gate needs a human? Can it avoid private information? Can it keep internal labels out of public visuals? Can it leave unrelated user work alone? In the example task, a good agent can prepare the pre-production package, but it should not start narration, generate visuals, dispatch production lanes, or treat a draft as approved. Useful agents need autonomy, but autonomy without boundaries is not capability. It is risk. This is the part people often get backwards. They think a stronger agent is the one that always keeps going. But in real work, the stronger agent is often the one that knows when not to. If the task asks for a plan, it should not secretly implement it. If the user approves pre-production, it should not jump to final render. If one lane owns a job, it should not write into another lane's workspace. If the output is audience-facing, it should not leak process labels or private paths. The break is part of the intelligence. It keeps the work usable. The fifth test is consistency. One successful run is useful, but it is not proof. Agents can pass once because the prompt was clear, the environment was clean, or the model got lucky. Reliability means the same class of task works again with small variations. The agent still reads the rules, it still uses the right tools, it still respects boundaries, it still reports evidence, it still stops at the right gate. Consistency does not mean perfect output every time. It means predictable behavior, stable process, and errors you can inspect instead of mysterious surprises. So, the scorecard is simple. Did it finish the job? Did it use tools correctly? Did it recover from failure? Did it stay inside safe boundaries? Did it do the same kind of work consistently? You do not have to answer those with vibes. You can look for evidence. The artifact exists or it does not. The tool trace makes sense or it does not. The failure was handled honestly or it was hidden. The boundary was respected or crossed. The second and third run held together, or the process drifted. That is how an agent moves from impressive to usable. The goal is not to make agents sound impressive. The goal is to know what you can trust them with. When an agent can finish the job, use tools correctly, recover from failure, stay inside safe boundaries, and do it consistently, you are no longer just watching a demo. You are seeing the beginning of a working system. That does not mean the human disappears. It means the human gets a better way to decide what the agent is ready for, what still needs supervision, and where the next boundary should be. That is the real test.